Diablo 3. What can I really say about Diablo 3?
You're a fucking disappointment.
The Diablo fandom is rabid. Blizzard used to spoil their fans with some of the most amazing video games ever made. And then Activision happened. But hey, we know they truly have everyone's best interests in mind. D3 was announced less than a month before the merger took place back in 2008. And it wouldn't launch till early 2012. May 15th, 2012 to be exact. The day of Error 37.
Error 37! Error 37! I keep trying to log in and I get Error 37!
You see, this is the problem with always online video games. And I really don't see why devs and publishers can't grasp this simple concept. If I wanted to play a game by myself, like the filthy introvert that I am, then why am I forced to be online? Upon its release, the servers overloaded and crashed. When most people tried to log on, they were greeted by an error screen. Look, real talk. I've been playing Diablo since the beginning. I still have nightmares of the Butcher striking me down over and over again. I put hundreds, if not thousands of hours into LOD. There are many people like me that had been waiting for another sequel for over a decade. And you couldn't even play it. It's sitting right there, staring you in the face, mocking you. To add more fuel to the fire, they had introduced a real-world auction house. You don't want to spend 50 hours a week grinding to get that super rare set piece? Well, KnobGobbler69 has it listed on the auction house for 3 easy payments of $19.99, plus shipping and handling. This was shut down almost a year later due to backlash from the community. Just in time for the console launch. Yep, Diablo 3 was ported to the PS3 and 360 with a next-gen port following the next year. Hell, 4 years after that, they put it on the freaking Switch. This wasn't the first time a Diablo game was ported to console. The OG had a PS1 port almost 2 years after its PC launch. Diablo is best played on PC. Listen, I'm anti-console war and all that master race BS, but some games are just objectively better on PC. I recently got Diablo 2 Resurrected on my PS4. They did their best to make the controls console friendly, but they could only do so much without changing the core gameplay. The Diablo 3 port works though. The UI is simple enough when you get used to it, but they added one exclusive feature to consoles that makes PC players seethe till this day. Rolling. Yep, a quick flick of the right stick in any direction will see your character roll that way. Use it to break stuff, evade attacks from bosses, and squeeze out of tight situations. Yep, exclusive to console, not on PC in any way. Suck on that, Master Race. So just to annoy just about everyone watching this video, I'm going to be randomly rolling throughout my gameplay. I'm a seasoned pro with Diablo 3. I got it on PS3 and unlocked quite a few trophies, and on the PS4 version I'm just missing 1 trophy for Platinum. I lost my character that had over 400 bounties completed and had to start again. So to say the least, I know my way around the main campaign by now. It took me almost 14 hours to beat. And that's with listening to all the quest dialogue and watching the cutscenes. Having put a massively unknown amount of time into this trilogy, one of my biggest gripes with this game is how freaking easy it is. In the first game, you're just some random warrior that takes down a weakened Diablo. Many times you end up running away from a fight. It was a mixture of tough enemies and the way the game progressed. In the second game, anytime you loaded your save, all the enemies would respawn and you could keep farming them to level up. In D1, you load in at the exact spot you saved. Everyone stays dead, there's nothing to do except push forward. If you met a unique Balrog in the caves, you were pretty much done. Roll up the windows and leave that neighborhood, you aren't beating those dudes. Diablo 2 seemed to be a nice middle ground. Starting from scratch with no broken gear or high-level friend to cheese the game for you, you typically seem to be on par with your enemies. Some demons, like the Fallen, you could tear through like tissue paper. Others would be a bit tougher and you'd have to rethink your strategy. It all seemed to even out pretty well. And then, they decided to make the protagonist of Diablo 3 a Nephilim. If you're unsure what a Nephilim is, they're the children of angels and demons. Diablo lore, the children of Lilith and Inarius. Come on, tell me you could say no to that. Having both the blood of an angel and a demon coursing through their veins, they were beings of immense power. They could defeat the strongest on either side, meaning that poor, lowly, cannon fodder baddies of Diablo 3 stand absolutely zero chance. Coming through and recording footage for this, I started on Torment 1. No gear or Paragon levels, completely naked.
I am naked.
Until I unlocked some skills and got some gear, even the easiest enemy was a sponge. But once you find your first good piece of gear, everything changes. You can also share a stash between your whole account, meaning I can craft extremely OP items for a new character to equip and totally blast through the early levels. It might just be me though, but HP doesn't seem to scale with damage very well. I really enjoy my Necromancer, so maybe it's just him, but he always seems like a glass cannon. He tears through the toughest enemies, but if he stubs his toe, he's done for. And to be honest, I just spent way too long talking about Diablo 3's difficulty. I also feel like they killed the social aspect of Diablo. One of my favorite things to do in Diablo 2 was PvP. There was a huge PvP community back in the 1.10 era. Diablo 3 didn't launch with any PvP options. Eventually, they added the Battleground. You and anyone else that joined were tossed into a small arena where you duke it out. Nowhere near as exciting as going toe-to-toe in a Bloodmore. I have never seen another Soul on the PS3 or 4 versions of the Battleground. This was a huge missed opportunity by Blizzard. Another issue people have is the story and all its retcons, giving the warrior from D1 a name, then making him another son of King Leoric, also having him bone the witch Adria just so they could explain Leah, and then they had to do my man Cain dirty. He was a huge part of the first 2 games and they turned around and killed him off before the end of Act 1. This enraged a lot of diehard fans of the series. He deserved better than what happened to him. Now I could do this all day, but I'll save all those nitpicks for my Diablo 3 in a nutshell video. But on top of all that, the plot is just so boring. There was never a real sense of danger because you're an overpowered mythical creature that could erase all of creation if you wanted. Why should I be afraid of Femme Diablo? Now, I always compare Diablo 3 to games like Fallout 4. The gameplay is pretty solid. It introduced some cool mechanics and smoothed a lot of stuff out. Fallout 4 is a good game, it's just not a great Fallout game. The same can be said about Diablo 3. On its own, it's a good game. It's just not a great Diablo game. As you raise the difficulty higher, better items become much easier to find. Running rifts and completing bounties become a series of quick dopamine hits because of how fast unique items start dropping. I'll admit, whenever I decide to pick up Diablo 3 again, I become obsessed with seeing how strong I can make my character. But then you start becoming numb to the dopamine and it starts losing its effect. Set pieces start dropping for other classes when you're missing one piece for your own. You find the same unique item twice in the same game and you stop becoming excited for every drop. So let's lay it out. Diablo 3 launches 11 years after Lord of Destruction. The servers crash for the first few days, there's a real-world auction house, and there's no PvP options. Blizzard in their prime made some of the best video games we will ever see. How long was World of Warcraft the king of video games? But they're just another piece of Activision's puzzle now. A puzzle that they don't know how to put together for some reason. They have all the pieces staring right at them, but they just can't seem to utilize them. Let me ask anyone waiting for Diablo 4 something. Do you honestly think things will be different this time? Look at every single Activision game released in the last few years. Almost every game is a buggy, unfinished mess with constant server issues. And you really have faith that Diablo 4 will be different? There's already talk of pay-to-win microtransactions on top of a freaking battle pass. On the day of its full release, the servers will buckle. The game will feel bare bones. And they'll push MTX on you as much as they can. Maybe one day, I'll pick Diablo 4 up on sale, but I have no interest. I couldn't even get on the damn beta because the always online game had a queue of over 2 hours. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping I can get this video up by June 1st, which is when early access for D4 starts. If I'm wrong, and honest to God I hope I am, feel free to come back and rub my face in it.
Error 37! Why the fuck is it 37? What the fuck are the other 36? Shouldn't this be error number 1?
Perfect.